Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, and here we are in London in Watch Dogs Legion. It's New Year's Eve here in London, and I thought I'd come to the most iconic thing you're going to see in London on New Year's Eve tonight, which is the London Eye, when you see all the fireworks flying about, and you'll get fireworks everywhere in London and of course in many other locations in London and the world. And I thought it was a fitting place to do a New Year's Eve video. So I'm just going to make a small video about things from the year in gaming and going forward. It's not going to be long. I'm not going to go into anything in detail because it's much too much, and I'm sure everyone's got much too many things to do on New Year's Eve to be thinking about issues in gaming, or hopefully. But just to touch on a few bits and pieces, and by way of making a New Year's Eve video as well. So it's been a rough year in gaming. I think anyone, whichever point of view you have, whether you support woke things, whether you don't believe some of the things that are pointed out as woke are woke, whether you hate woke, it's been a rough year in gaming for everybody. I think it's got progressively worse. There are loads of games, we can go through a list, but I'm not going to bother with the whole list, but Dragon Age, Avowed, Star Wars Outlaws, where Concord, Suicide Squad, where the list is endless, where a game came out and at the beginning we kind of thought some of these games might be good. And then as the year progressed, we kind of got to the point where we knew each game before it came out was going to be really woke and really awful, or pretty awful, or controversial, whichever. And it's not got better. It's got worse. I think it will continue to be bad into 2025 because there's obviously many games that have been made in the past years that are still very woke, that haven't really been able to change because of the woke backlash. So there'll be more games coming out like that, which is annoying. I think another thing that's really come to a head recently, and I've made this point on many videos, is the way AAA companies that make woke games treat their fans and gamers, where basically it's gamers' fault if the game doesn't sell. The gamers are either racist or sexist or don't understand. And also we've had loads of people connected with different games, I'm not going to go through naming all of them, who said basically we make the games we want and we don't care about gamers. There's a really bad attitude from everyone, from the developers to voice actors to people connected with the games, where basically it's, we're going to make a game and we don't really care about the gamers, and we don't care what we say. If it upsets gamers, we don't care, because, and that's not an attitude you can have in any commercial industry. If you don't care about your audience and you don't care about the people you're making games for, then do something else. Go and work at McDonald's, or go and create projects in your own back garden that you're not going to release to the masses. So it's a really weird thing, and it's got worse and worse, and it's come to a head recently with various things I've already discussed on the channel, which I'm not going to go into again. So it's not been good, but I think moving forward, again, there will be more woke games. I don't think this is done. I've seen things, which I'm only going to touch on again in this video, that Sweet Baby and the company they've attached themselves to now have struggled financially or gone bust. I've not read all the reports, so I'm not going to go into it. But again, it's because there's a woke backlash, and Sweet Baby are toxic, and anyone who's linked with them, and you know, this company that linked with Sweet Baby must have been suicidal to do it in the first place. But I think that's a good sign, because I think that unfortunately one of the ways forward is going to be that companies do go bust. I mean, I think we all hope Sweet Baby goes bust, but it's going to be some of the main AAA companies that either get taken over or go bust, and studios that go bust, because that's the way of the world. And I think unfortunately lots of these companies, as we've seen already by not just what they've made but what they've said, aren't going to change, because the people in them, or the majority, are woke and woke activists. So the only way it's going to change would be either if they change their minds, and shareholders or the owners of the companies make them change their minds, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be happening as much. So it's going to be that some companies just go under because they've made games that nobody wanted and not cared, and that's going to be the way of it. But that's the way of the world. It's the way of everything in the history of the world, that things that nobody wants, things that people don't like, people that don't respect their customers, they will go under, and I think that's just life. So I think moving forward there will be companies that go under. We've already seen companies struggling, and at some point, because the companies will go, and that means the people connected with them will go, and new companies or other companies will see that that's not the way to go forward. We will get to a point where there's less woke. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of it, but I think as with all things in diversity, if anything is in a game or in a TV series or anywhere it might be in a movie, if it's well done and it's well integrated into the game, people won't mind. It's like I said, Rockstar's Legion is a good example. It's got all manner of different characters of colours and sizes and shapes and ages, and but because it's in London and it fits in the game, it's fine, and nobody calls it a woke game, but it isn't. It reflects London very well. So I think moving forward there will be casualties, there already has been, but that's the way it has to be to get to a point where we've got a much more balanced gaming environment, and there will be wokey kind of games, but hopefully it won't be all games and it won't be as forced as it has been. And more importantly, I think it's important that the gaming industry as a whole respects gamers and respects their consumers, and don't think they can do whatever they want and say whatever they want, and it's all gamers' fault. Of course it's not. If you make a game that gamers don't like, then it's your fault. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. Happy New Year, and for everyone that's watched the channel over the last year, thanks for watching. I appreciate your support, even if you've not subscribed, even if you've not made a comment, even if you've not liked anything. I never ask for any of those things. Then I appreciate everything and everyone, and Happy New Year. From Guessagaingaming, take care for now.